Testing, 1, 2, 3. Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Welcome to Hyperfixation of the Week, where we definitely do sports. I'm Jordan, and I tried ballet, tap dance, gymnastics, and softball and soccer, and ended up somehow doing karate.
I'm Phoenix, and I did basketball for 7 years without scoring a single point. No, that's not a joke.
I'm so sorry.
And I'm Victoria, the one who actually did sports. I played hockey.
And what are we going to talk about today, Victoria?
We're going to be talking about hockey.
Let's preface with this. Hey, George, what do you know about hockey?
So they hit the circle with the stick.
Yeah.
And sometimes they hit each other really hard.
Yes, that's
and
very
then they
fun.
push each other into the wall, and then they get put in the little naughty box for being naughty little hockey boys.
Yes. And you're not allowed to kick because they have weapons on their feet.
Oh, yeah, the knives.
Yeah, that's a great way to get ejected.
The foot knives. Ejected from your body for
Also,
dying.
for some reason, the puck is... It's not uncommon for the puck to somehow manage to get out of the rink and hit someone.
Yeah, no, it is not uncommon.
Have you ever played air hockey? That's perfectly normal.
They have walls.
Oh, yeah,
Jordan.
that's my experience in hockey. Air hockey.
Ooh, yeah, air
Yeah,
hockey.
my mom is gonna listen to this, so I just want her to know I have gotten better. I could beat you. If you came here and you came to one of our little, rec room, thingamajigs in our dorms, I would defeat you.
We can test that, Jordan.
You wanna go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, not yet. First,
Not
Victoria, talk about real hockey.
Okay.
Ice hockey, to specify.
So you guys have to listen to me a lot, so I've already ranted about the rules of hockey to you. What have you collected from that so far?
All right, all seriousness without joking around, I've collected that scoring is a hell of a job to do.
You can get in a fight as long as it's consensual.
You are less likely to get in major trouble if both people want to fight. Youth leagues, you're still going to get in trouble, but in professional, as long as both people want to fight,
Let them fight.
They might fight.
But yes, I have learned that hockey games normally have a net total of 3 points. As a net total.
Normally, yes.
Pun intended.
That wasn't even a pun. That.
Unless you're my team, and then you have a net total of minus 30.
What?
Yeah, that happened. I told you the story about I had the doubleheader.
What about that NJIT game where we lost?
Oh yeah, that was also we also had the NJIT game where there was a net score of minus 18.
Do we want to bring your NJIT hockey team hot takes onto the radio show?
You do not want them on the show.
We could.
Remember, you're representing the school here.
Yeah.
Remember, you work for the hockey team.
I know. And as someone who works with the hockey team, you do not want them on the air. Okay, so I guess I should start with the basic rules.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
You were telling me that there was something funny in the rule book about how pedantic and over specific they are with something.
So I used to work as a referee. I was certified by USA Hockey. I had all the badges. I had the certification card. I had everything.
Did you have the stripy shirt?
I have it in my dorm right now.
No way. Oh wait, have I not? Have I
I've
seen
shown
it?
you it. I have.
Oh yeah,
it.
you have.
I have my full referee uniform with
You
me.
have the fun striped shirt.
I have the fun striped shirt. But basically, part of that is I have a copy of the rule book on my phone for the most recent set of rules because they update it a little bit every 4 years or so just to keep up with stuff. So, one of the sections in the rule book, it says Rule 101, Rink. And there is a singular part. It says, the game of ice hockey shall be played on an ice surface recommended to be white in color known as the rink. That is all it says.
Wait. So it can be different colors.
It can be
It's
different colors.
recommended to be white.
Recommendation does not mean you have to.
Exactly, just like speed
For
limits.
the sake of contrast, almost every single rink is white. Some have areas that are different colors, like within the circles.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out. The whole rink is red. When they kick up ice, it looks like blood.
I
Hear me
think
out.
I have seen that
Hear me
before.
out. Black ice hockey rink.
You can't. Is it ice? We don't know. You might just fall.
Black ice hockey rink. Don't drive on
No,
it.
when I played,
Why did I peek? Oh my god.
when I played
Let's
house
turn
league,
you down, Jordan.
when I played house league, I did actually play on a team called the Black Ice. I also played on a team called the Cobras. But if we're talking my actual experience, I played travel hockey from about 8 years old. So I played 3 years with a team called the Stars down in South Brunswick. And then I played for 6 years with a girls team in Middletown called the Titans. And it was all fine and dandy at first, and then everything kind of went to hell because they stopped really paying any attention to any team that wasn't like the highest level. Because, you know, it's girls hockey, they have no funding anyway.
I feel bad for laughing.
No, we acknowledge it. There's a reason we got the worst ice times.
Yeah.
But, so I played, technically since I was 5. The first time I ever played was when I was 5. So I played for 11 years. I then worked as a ref for my 12th year. And then I didn't renew my stuff this year. And I'm doing other stuff with the hockey team here. Okay. I should probably talk about the actual rules. So, for any of you that don't know hockey.
Hi, I don't know hockey.
I meant who have never seen it at all. So you have 2 teams, obviously. A typical team roster in the NHL specifically, because youth leagues, it's just however many people they can get. I had a team whose roster was 10 people.
Good for them.
It was not uncommon for only 2 people to come to practice, and one of them was always me.
I mean...
So I'm just imagining just like, the roster was 10 people. You need 11 people on the ice. We were down a man.
Oh no, one time I played, my team had a game where we only had 7 people rostered.
How many people are normally on the ice?
5. And here's the thing.
Oh, that's so much less fun than playing a man down.
No, here's the thing. The 7th person got injured. She tore her ACL during the game.
Good for her.
Oof.
So we had to play 2/3 of a game. This was the second game of the day with 6 people.
Oh.
You get 1 sub. Have fun.
Yeah, most of us had like 7-minute shifts.
I don't know how long hockey games go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Give us reference.
Okay,
Like, how
so
big is a
basically-
team? How long's it go?
So, youth hockey is a little different to NHL hockey. I mean, not for obvious reasons, but also just the way the games are run. NHL hockey, it's 3 periods of 20 minutes. However, that's not 20 minutes running like in football. And like,
Oh, it's like soccer, where the clock's just always going.
so it's not like, it's not, does the clock stop in football?
Yes.
Oh, then
Oh,
I was
yeah,
thinking of
100%.
soccer.
There's whole strategies where you just stop the clock.
Yeah, no,
and then
that
there's
is a strategy
baseball.
with hockey. I will get to that later. I will
Then
get to
there's
that later.
baseball where they
Baseball's
had
a
to
funny
add
game.
rules
So basically
so
it's-
you wouldn't run the clock.
Youth hockey, typically, as you get older, the periods get longer. You start with about 12 minutes per period, and you work your way up to like 15. When I stopped, it was about 17. And then you have 20, which is the oldest age groups, usually adult leagues, and also professional. So you have 3 20-minute periods. They're closer to 30 minutes because stoppages. But that's not necessarily the end of the game.
Okay.
Because no game in the NHL will end in a tie. Youth leagues, they'll usually just leave it as a tie unless it's an important event like playoffs or a tournament, or like you need it to figure out who's going to be in which placement. So the first step is overtime.
That
What?
neck crack just picked up on the mic.
I didn't even
Phoenix.
use my hands. That was me just tilting my head. That felt great.
So-
But look at the mic levels.
So the next step after a tie is overtime. With overtime, it's, depending on the league, it can either be 5 minutes of 3 versus 3, sudden death, first person to score wins.
Look at Smash.
Or if you're the NHL, it's just another 20-minute period, and it just keeps going.
Cowardly. 1-on-1, let's go. Just 2 guys on the ice.
Here's the thing. Theoretically, you could end up with, like, a 4-on... No. Actually, no, you can't. I was going to say you could end up with a 4-on-1 in an NHL overtime. No, you can't. You can end up with a 5-on-3, because the way penalties usually work with overtime, I say usually because some leagues do it different, is the team that gets the penalty doesn't lose a player. The other team is just allowed to have an extra one.
No, hear me out. If you start putting people in the penalty box until the entire game, is just 1-on-1.
That's called.
That's called...
It's chess.
That's called chess.
Also, I do have a question.
Hmm?
Because I don't remember where I saw it, but I know that there was like this meme or text post
I
circulating.
looked this up before we came here. No, it's not true.
The envelope.
Yeah, it's
The
not
what?
Would you
true.
like to debunk Would you like to explain and then debunk the myth
So
of the
there was
envelope?
this post going around, I think it was a Twitter post, where it was like after, or at the 7th overtime, because in playoff NHL hockey, in playoff NHL hockey, oh wait, I actually missed part. So after an overtime in regular season play, you will go into a shootout. So it's literally player versus the goalie. Both teams take a chance to score. It's 3 shots. Whichever team has more goals after those 3 shots wins. If neither team has more than the other, then it just becomes keep going until one of the teams doesn't score.
So it's soccer penalty kicks.
Basically, but continuous. I've seen some really long shootout rounds. So back to what Jordan was talking about. In playoff NHL hockey, there are no shootouts. It's just continuous overtime. Here's the thing. This past playoff season, we went into 4 overtimes. And I mentioned overtime periods are the normal 20 minutes.
Which means
it was
Overtime-
nonstop.
Overtime was longer than the actual game.
I score kept a game that did basically the same thing. Except this game started at 10:30.
Oh.
And I had my senior trip the next morning.
Wait, you told me about this?
I thought that was the one that you got back here at like 3 a.m. from.
No, that was just that game was just 3 hours away. But basically, there was this post going around that at the 7th overtime they would drop a second puck, something about the 8th that goes in 8th overtime envelope, whatever, special rules. No, it's not true. There is nothing there. You can read all of the rules on the I think it's on the NHL's website. So no.
I'm looking up now what those rules are because I'm just curious.
They're not true.
It's not true.
Yeah, the record overtime, or the record length of an overtime is 6 overtime periods. So that's basically playing 2 extra games.
Jesus.
Those happened like 60 years ago, though.
Okay.
Okay, here is.
How old's the sport?
Huh?
You want to talk about the history of hockey? How old is this thing?
So technically, the
and
NHL.
why is it so Canadian?
So it's Canadian because it's ice hockey.
Sorry, I'm just reading the I just want to read what the fake rules are because people believe this.
People did believe it.
So
To be fair, I was 15.
let me read the text post. It is a Twitter thread. It starts with, "It hasn't happened since 1936, but a reminder that if an NHL game goes to 6th overtime, they drop the second puck. Per the rules, in the event of a 7th overtime, which has never happened, 5 pucks are in play, and the face-off is taken simultaneously at all 5 face-off circles, with each team playing 15 players plus the goaltender at once. Rules for an 8th overtime, which again has never happened in the NHL, are sealed inside a red envelope, which has not been opened since 1917. They're not real.
No, it's
but I
not.
wish they were.
Okay, so NHL was originally known as the NHA, or not originally known. It's a successor to it. The
It's
NHA
like the
was
WWE, WWF thing.
huh?
WWE
Wow.
versus
We are
WWF.
nerds, 'cause I understood what you just said.
I have no idea what that even means.
WWE,
honestly.
World Wrestling Entertainment.
Oh my
Worldwide
God.
Wrestling Entertainment was originally WWF, Worldwide Wrestling
Are
Federation.
we going to have an episode about professional wrestling?
I only know a little bit.
Go ahead.
I'm going to have an
My dad
episode
would
about
love it.
professional wrestling. Can
So
we bring him
basically,
on?
NHL is the successor to the NHA, which is the National Hockey Association, which was a league founded in Canada, just in general. It was teams between Ontario and Quebec. They played in like 1910 up until 1917. So I assume you know what the Stanley Cup is.
It's the big cup.
It's the big trophy.
It's the Super Bowl.
It's
but
basically the
hockey.
Super Bowl of hockey.
It's a super cup.
Here's a fun fact. As is, the Stanley Cup is the oldest sports trophy, professional sports trophy in North America.
Like the physical object or like the prize
Like
itself?
the concept of the Stanley Cup itself.
Wow. Wait, it's older than the World Series?
Apparently.
That's weird.
I mean, I would assume it's because whatever World Series trophy, whatever, has had different names or has gone through iterations. It has been the same Stanley Cup
Do we
Yeah.
know who the Stanley Cup was named after?
Stanley.
Lord Stanley.
Stanley from the Stanley Parable.
Speaking of that, the Women's National Hockey League, I forgot what the trophy is called, but it's named after his wife.
Whoa.
Hold on,
He's
I'm
a
struggling.
white guy.
No, that's actually neat. That's actually cool.
I'm trying to figure out what it's called, because I can't.
Do you
I
think
can't
he was
type.
a wife guy,
So,
Jordan?
hold on.
Hockey. While Victoria looks that up, I would like to mention. You know what? I can talk about my experience. So I did try to ice skate once. Maybe a year or two ago. I was with my friend Angela in Philly when they had those like ice rinks out during the
yeah.
holiday season, and I definitely tried. And fun fact, I have bruised or injured my tailbone doing all 3 types of skating: skateboarding, roller skating, and ice skating.
Oh wait, no. So I
Talents.
found it.
Thanks.
So I found it. My dad
okay.
actually just texted me. So it's not Lord Stanley's wife. It's his daughter. So it's
Whoa.
called the Isabel Cup, ISOBEL. So fun fact about here's something that I've noticed. Despite the fact that the Jets, not like the New York Jets and the Giants, they technically play out in New Jersey. They're still associated with New York. So really, the only professional sports teams that I can think of that people actually care about that are associated with New Jersey are hockey teams.
Actually, no, the River Sharks are gone. We used to have a minor leagues team in Camden.
Yeah, I'm talking about Major League.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
We don't do that
I
here.
think there's also a soccer team, but also, who actually cares about soccer in America that actually watches American soccer?
People from Philly, like Philly area. The Philadelphia Union is actually a big team.
Yeah,
Also,
they are actually.
Wherever Messi plays, because isn't he?
Yeah, but we're talking about like people who
No,
actually
he's-
fixate on American soccer.
Yeah, but he plays in American soccer.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give an exception.
Okay, so back to the history. So, the NHL obviously means National Hockey League. Here's a fun fact. Originally, it was called National Hockey League because it was isolated to Canada. And then they expanded to America, and now out of
They can't change
30
the
out
IHL.
of 32 teams, only 7 are in Canada.
We've slowly but surely taken it.
So
bit
we
by
have
bit.
the Canadians, the Senators, Oilers, Jets, Maple Leafs, Flames, and there's another one I'm forgetting.
I know a single one of those teams. That's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, because the Leafs suck. They finally made it past the first round this past year. I mean, so did the Devils
Also,
finally.
why are they the Senators? That's an American thing. Give us the Senators.
No,
Other
like,
countries
it's-
have senators.
It's Ottawa, like the
Oh.
like a native thing.
Oh, okay.
My dad texted me again. The Canucks. That's the last team.
The Canucks?
Yeah.
I love them. They now have my second favorite, my third favorite hockey team name. My number 1 is the Penguins, because if
course
you
it
know
is.
me, you know I love Penguins a lot, and I'm not going to get into it right now. Number 2 is the Krakens, because that's funny.
It is.
Fun fact, I was on a game show. One of the questions was, what is Seattle's hockey team named? I was with my mother and my sister.
When
None
was
of-
this?
None of
Wait,
us
you
knew
were
it.
on a
It was
game
2
show?
years ago.
Okay, that explains
local
that.
Philly game show.
Okay, that explains that.
The question was, what is the Seattle hockey team? We couldn't figure out anything. We went with the Space Needles.
Oh,
We don't watch hockey at my house. We watch football and baseball.
Okay. While we talk about Seattle, that actually brings me to one of the funny things that I told you guys I wanted to talk about. So, in the NHL, there are only 2 arenas that teams play out of that don't have like their sponsor in the name. One of them is the Kraken. They are sponsored by Amazon, but it's called the Climate Pledge Arena. The other is Arizona, and there's a reason the arena doesn't have a sponsor name. Why do you think that is?
What's its sponsor?
It doesn't have a sponsor.
What do you mean it doesn't have a sponsor? How do they afford it?
what's the name of the arena?
Here's the thing. They play out of a college hockey rink
Oh my.
because they can't afford another arena.
Oh my goodness.
I'm really mad at myself. What's the Philly rink name? I can't remember it. I've been there.
The
don't
Philly
remember
one
either.
where the Flyers do their little flyer
Yeah.
thing?
It's
Oh god, it's on the tip of my tongue.
yeah, that's the problem.
Oh no, I'm such a
The
Bad South
Sixers
Jersey
also
native.
play there.
Okay, let's
Oh
see.
no, I'm
current
so
arenas.
bad at this. I'm gonna get
Also,
disowned.
there are concerts there. I'm gonna get disowned. My mom's gonna be mad at me.
It's not. Wait, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's in the shoot Wells Fargo.
Yeah, it's Wells Fargo.
Yes, I've seen wrestling events there.
Okay, so there is. So since we're in New Jersey, I know something about the Devils. The Devils actually relatively recently changed. I say relatively recently, I mean within my lifetime, have actually changed what arena they play out of. They used to play out of an arena in the Meadowlands, and then Prudential Center was built.
And we love it here.
And they switched in like 2011 or something. I'm pretty sure my first ever hockey game was at the old arena.
Whoa.
Gotta say though, we love the Prudential Center being here because that means we get to go see concerts as college students because it's really close by.
Yeah,
That
and
was
we
great.
did in like the first like 3 weeks.
We did.
The
And
night before an exam.
I didn't have the exam. You had an exam.
Yeah, and that was the exam I did the best on.
I promise you, Dad, I did not go see a concert before an exam. Please, I know you're listening because you sent me texts about the WWE, which apparently they changed their name because there was a lawsuit from the World Wildlife Fund.
Oh yeah,
Is that seriously why?
No,
Yes.
that's seriously why. Because there were two things called WWF, and one was where a bunch of big sweaty guys in their underwear beat each other up, and the other saved the pandas.
Also, he wants me to say that
It's called WWE.
he wants me to
now.
say that I was on the game show twice, in fact.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you saw the promo for it, you might have seen a kid making the sound of I'm gonna back away from the mic because it's loud. Of
Oh no,
That was me.
Did I send you the video of someone actually doing that?
no.
I sent you a reel where someone did that.
Oh, I need to go look.
But basically, okay, so I should probably actually talk about the rules of hockey. I got severely
Yes,
sidetracked.
please talk about the rules of hockey.
So
We're
we
20
we
minutes
did we literally covered the length of a game. So typically, if you go to an NHL game, it's going to be like 2.5 hours. That's how long you're going to be there, more or less. So rules. So obviously you have the face-off in the middle. You're going to have you have 6 people on the ice if you count the goalie, but that's a goalie.
That's the goalie.
You have 5 people on the ice. You have 2 defenders. You have a left wing, a right wing, and a center. Center's the one who takes the face-off. They usually have the responsibilities of both a defense and a forward. Wingers are forward. They bring the puck up. They really should defend somewhat, but not as much as, a defenseman who has to be further back. It's not like soccer.
No, it's slightly soccer positions.
Slightly, but you're allowed to be behind the defense.
I don't.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And it's a bad idea to do that anyway, because that means you're leaving your team alone.
Still, if you can get the puck to them.
Yeah, that's how a lot of... So, they're called odd man rushes, which means that the team that is bringing the puck forward has more people than the team that's defending. A lot of the rushes happen because someone didn't realize there was someone behind them. So, face off, ref blows the whistle, drops the puck. If the centers have a false start, they're supposed to be switched out with one of the wingers. And if it happens 2 or 3 times, I think, the team that got switched out multiple times will get a delay of game penalty.
But that's so much less fun. I saw a video of a basketball tip-off where the guy jumped early like 3 times, and he just got to do it again, and he won the tip-off.
But basically, so if you've ever seen a hockey rink, there's 5 circles. There's 8 face-off dots, there's 9 face-off dots, but there's 5 circles. With the circles, the only people allowed to be inside the circle are the centers and a ref. But everyone is allowed to be as close as they want to the edge of the circle.
Okay.
So you'll usually see the wingers are on the sides. They are not allowed to be on the other team's half of the circle. They can be anywhere on their half. Usually they're lined up with the other team's wing. The defense, depending on the location, will be either, if they're on the center circle, they will usually be on the offsides line. Or if you're like me, push up a little further.
Sorry, I'm just imagining the goalie at the edge of the circle.
And then there's the goalie. No, so here's the thing about goalies. They are not allowed to cross the center line of the ice.
But they can go to the edge of the circle.
They can go to the edge of the circle. But that's a terrible idea.
No, it's the worst idea possible. But just imagine if you just have the goalie there. The intimidation factor of just leaving
Intimidation factor.
of every single person on the circle.
There used to be, I think I told Jordan about this, there used to not be a rule about during shootouts, or during shootouts, there never, up until, I don't remember when, there was a point in time where there was no written rule that the person in the net had to be a goalie. So during during shootouts, there was this one team in particular that would do this, where the coach would send out their biggest defenseman. This is back when enforcer was a genuine role on the team. This coach would send out the biggest defenseman, put him in the net, and then when the guy was coming up with the puck, would just charge him. Because it's a little hard to score.
When there's
very large human.
6'6", 200+ pound guy barreling at you.
Also, the goalies in hockey have a really easy job.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
The puck barely gets to the net.
Here's the thing. Goalies have one of the fastest reaction times in sports. The only thing I think that is faster is a good baseball hitter.
Oh, those guys are insane.
Because youth hockey, puck's going maybe 40 miles an hour, but in professional hockey, that puck's getting up to like 70, 80. The record, I think, is 112.
Yeah, baseball's faster still.
Yes. That's why I said, I think the only thing that beats it
it's a baseball hitter.
Is a baseball hitter. But very specifically, a good baseball hitter.
It's Bryce Harper.
Because remember...
Let's go Phillies.
Because remember, these pucks are coming from maybe like 10 feet at max.
You said birds.
I said Phillies.
You said birds.
What did you hear me say?
I didn't hear anything.
We have it on recording, Jorts.
I said let's go Phillies.
You did not.
But basically, here's where the reaction time becomes more important. The puck can be coming from anywhere as close as directly in front of the goalie.
I mean, to be fair, they can just put their legs on the ground and just block half the goal.
That's what I thought when I was little. But
you would think.
You can, though.
You would think. I've managed to score in between the pads.
That's just talent.
No, that's just luck.
I was going to say, wait, no, that's luck. That's luck.
That is very much luck. There's actually a term called the 5-hole in hockey, which is basically top corners between the arms and the legs and directly between the legs. Which is usually where people practice to shoot, because those are the easiest to score, typically. I keep getting sidetracked from the rules.
Sorry, also, my dad just had to remind me that the Phillies are out of the playoffs. We lost.
Oh, I know.
And he said it excitedly.
Why?
My dad's from Central Jersey. He's a Mets fan.
Oh, let's go Mets, baby.
No.
Let's go Mets.
Okay,
Love the Mets.
Back to hockey.
Back to the rules. So you have the face-off. There are certain rules about who's allowed to change between face-offs. So basically, when they blow the whistle, game's in play, blow the whistle, play stops. In between, there's certain rules about how you're supposed to change players, whatever. Certain times where you're not allowed to. I think if your team ices... No. I think in professional hockey, there's something about icing the puck and not being able to change, something like that. But there's special rules about how you're supposed to change between the play. If you do weird things during the change, you can also get a delay of game penalty. There's a lot of weird things you can get delay of game penalty for. Such as shooting the puck at the netting around the ice.
You couldn't do that on accident.
Yeah, but it's very obvious when it's intentional, because you have to...
really go for it.
What if you slap shot it into a man? Slap shot it right between the legs.
What is that?
What do you mean?
I showed you a video of
that.
that.
Yeah, that hurt. And it went in.
It went in.
It was a slap shot for the goal, which, mind you, a slap shot is a very, very, it's the fastest shot.
No, I know.
Yeah. And it hit where you don't want to get hit.
No.
And it still went into the net.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've had very similar occurrences on myself.
Oh.
And obviously, I'm not a guy. It's not going to hurt as bad. It still hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's still going like 50 miles an hour at least.
So I should probably just talk about penalties straight up, because Jordan mentioned the penalty box earlier.
The no-no
bin, the sin bin, the penalty box.
The naughty hockey boy box.
So.
The naughty boy box.
There's a couple different levels of penalties.
Timeout box.
Bad ice boys get put in the bad ice boy box.
Bad ice boys get put in the timeout corner.
So there's a couple different types of penalties. You have a minor penalty, multiple different types of major penalties, game misconduct, stuff like that. Minor penalties are usually 2 minutes. Some leagues will have it 1:30. So that's just your basic stuff like tripping, hooking, Slashing, as long as it's not like malicious slashing, cross-checking,
That's
roughing.
a murder attempt. Slashing is a murder attempt.
No, if it's just like a tap to the shins, you'll get 2 minutes. Certain levels of high sticking will be 2 minutes. Then you have major penalties. There's 5-minute majors, which are slightly worse, but not actually bad. So that's like more aggressive slashing.
Murder attempts.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Hold on, I should probably open the rule book.
Is that crippling attempt? Would that be crippling or?
Maiming?
It's maiming.
Maiming. Yes.
Hold on. I need to find. I'm gonna open my rule book just so that I get this right.
Yes, Victoria has the rule book.
I have
on
the rule
her
book
phone.
because I was a referee. Penalties. Minor penalties. List of. Okay, so there's also something called a bench minor. So that's for stuff. So that's for stuff that can't really be attributed to any one person. So basically, anyone who's not the goalie just gets put in the box to serve the time. So too many men, which is if you have more than 5 people on the ice at any time, unless you're on basically if you have more than what you're supposed to.
But that's so much less fun.
There is a photo of the Penguins where they had 10 people on the ice at once.
and they should have been allowed to keep it. And it should have been a 10v10. Everyone. The entire roster on the ice at once. Both teams' entire roster.
Hold on, there's no list of
And
actual
there's
stuff.
3 pucks in play. Have fun. That sounds like a really fun to watch.
10 people, 3 pucks. Do you still
No.
have just 2 goalies?
Wait,
or
how big is the roster again?
A roster of an
NHL
active roster in the NHL is about 20 people.
Okay, 40 people on the ice, 3 pucks.
Can you fit that many people on the ice comfortably to play?
Have you ever seen a tryout?
Have you ever seen a hockey rink?
No, but I know you can fit them. I mean, to comfortably play a game.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna open up the different like rules, and I'm gonna talk about a couple different penalties. Boarding is a big one. That is one of the things that you're almost guaranteed to get in really big trouble for.
To get put in the no-no bin.
Would you like to tell us what it
basically,
is?
boarding is a hit from behind while the player is facing the boards. That is a great way to cripple someone. I am not joking. There was someone at my home rink who actually did. They had to airlift him because it was so bad. Because that's putting their neck in danger. So the general rule of thumb is if you hit the player's numbers, that is usually a boarding. It says a minor penalty plus a misconduct or major plus game misconduct will be assessed for boarding. So a minor plus misconduct means someone is going to serve 2 minutes and the person who actually got the penalty is kicked out. Major plus game misconduct is basically the same thing, except it's now like 5 minutes and someone's ejected. In youth leagues, I've seen 10 and 2, which basically means the person goes in the box for the full 12 minutes, someone serves the 2 minutes. You can also get a match penalty for reckless endangerment through boarding. So basically, if you're intentionally trying to hit people, you're getting kicked
But
out.
that's part of the fun of hockey, of hitting someone really hard.
Yeah, but that's also a great way to permanently paralyze someone.
Okay, but not like that. But just body checking someone is a lot of fun.
Body checking, that's actually the next category.
But that's so much fun. That's part of hockey.
No. So, here's the thing. Something that I never understood is why in girls' leagues we're not allowed to check. But we're not. So, there's something called competitive contact, which is basically just general physical contact. We are allowed to make physical contact. This isn't floor hockey. I hate floor hockey because, like, properly run floor hockey leagues don't let you make body contact.
Then play field hockey.
Field hockey you're not allowed to technically either.
That's coward.
But basically, checking will typically just get you 2 minutes if you're playing competitive contact, which is all girls levels, all levels below 12U, or formerly known as, 14U, or formerly known as the Bantam level, and all house leagues. Most house leagues, let me rephrase that. Some house leagues that really don't care will allow it, but so you can get called for checking at a young age. something called butt ending. It basically just means taking your stick and stabbing someone with it.
That's fun.
And
It's a lacrosse
that actually
thing.
gets you a major plus game misconduct.
That's a lacrosse thing.
I did have a teammate get ejected from a game for spearing someone.
I mean, did it work? Did it have
no,
the
and
effect?
here's the thing: she didn't even actually do it. The girl fell on her stick. I fell on my own stick and I had to go to the hospital.
Oh.
How?
Because we thought I might have ruptured something.
No, how did you fall on your stick?
My stick got stuck in the ice
Oh.
How?
because there was a divot in the ice.
That's what Zambonis are for.
Yeah.
I want to drive one.
Which takes me to my favorite
Driving
part.
a Zamboni is basically the only role I haven't had playing hockey yet.
That's so fun. It
Okay.
looks so fun.
That takes me to my favorite part of a hockey game, which is the Zambonis.
They're so funny and they look
Here's
so
a fun fact: Zamboni is a brand,
Then what's the thing called?
an ice resurfacer.
No, it's a
No, it's called
It's
a
a
Zamboni.
Zamboni.
Zamboni. Everyone calls it
Yeah,
Zamboni.
like the mall rug bonies. Yo, you know the Zambonis
Oh
for
my
like,
God.
did you have the Zambonis in your high school that cleaned the hallways?
Yeah.
They just had them out without the keys in it. The amount of times I thought about driving those things down the hallways.
The number of times I've been like at any ice event or anywhere with like a smooth floor and I see the Zamboni and I'm like, I just realized how far away I am from the mic. I want to drive a Zamboni really badly. They look fun. Like, I like riding mowers. Surely it cannot be that different.
Okay, so next penalty. Charging. I got called for charging one time, even though I was the one that got hit.
No, I believe you still charged. Do you or do you not charge people when you play hockey?
No, because that's how you get a penalty.
Have you or have you not charged someone?
One time, and it was because she pissed me off.
See, I was right.
I do have a sincere question for when you're done the penalties or if you just want to hear it now.
Just hear it now.
Do you have any theories, any ideas, any possible reason that hockey is such an aggressive sport? Because it has such a reputation for people just beating the crap out of each
It's
other.
Because
worse
we
than
have so
football.
much equipment.
You have so many options?
I think it's just because we have so much equipment that it's hard to really injure someone outside of boarding and the one goalie that got his neck cut open during a game on live TV.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
what?
let's
I'm
back
sorry.
up.
No,
Let's
back
back
up. Back up.
All right, let's
I forgot
hear
what
it.
the guy's name was. It was on live TV. Guy lost his footing, slid out, knocked over the goalie, and his skate cut the goalie's neck.
Jesus.
The goalie survived because an army doctor was in the stands,
Whoa.
Had a field medic in the stands.
and so
Lucky.
the goalie not only survived, he then went back to playing hockey.
Just like Tua, the guy with 3 concussions in a single NFL season.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I've seen the hits. One of those games as well, they put him back in, and he was visibly playing worse.
My dad
Oh
is
my
just feeding me
God.
information as this goes. The goalie's name was Clint Malarchuk. Do not look up the footage. It's not. There is no censored version.
Oh, no.
That kind of makes you want to look at it, though.
Don't.
No. He just had more information. 1 week later, he was back on the ice.
Champion.
Welcome to hockey, where if you're
Insane.
not dead,
Get back out there, sport.
yeah, that's. There was the one time I got hit in the face with a puck so hard it broke my helmet, and they just put me back
Nice.
with my helmet taped together.
Oh, that's so real.
God, I love contact sports. Fun fact, I don't like sports. I watch single sport. Do you know what that sport is?
What's the single sport?
I casually watch football with my family because I love watching them just get knocked over. Watching someone just get absolutely rocked is really fun.
I like watching football with my family because it's fun to have everyone in the room yelling at the TV about the same thing.
Yeah, no, I will yell at the TV too.
Yeah, no, my family does that
Like
with hockey.
the Super Bowl last year with that
Oh
one
my
holding
God,
call
I
at
was
the end.
Screaming.
You should have seen how mad my family got.
I was throwing things.
No, one of the amount of football fans my family is, my uncle was a ball boy for the Eagles.
Wow.
Yes. So I can say I've been to the Eagles training camp.
My mom has a story of almost throwing herself over the edge of the stands trying to get Brian Dawkins to sign her jersey.
As she should.
I think I mentioned this. My cousin, or I mentioned this to you guys. My cousin works for ESPN, and she's part of the Monday Night Football team. She was part of the group that won an Emmy this year. So she has an Emmy.
Dude. That's kind of gnarly.
It's kind of gnarly, bro.
I
kinda
like to
gnarly.
joke that she is a rare example of a communications major using her degree.
Woo!
Sorry, communications majors.
Oh my god.
Do we have any here?
My dad
Maybe.
texted me again. Hey, Jordan, do you want to know what my dad said?
What'd your dad say?
I like Jordan, but screw the Eagles.
Oh!
Oh, my dad said
I can respect someone else's opinion.
my
but
dad said there
excuse you.
is nothing comfortable about hockey, and it's the only way that Canadians can be violent.
Okay, no. One of the
Oh, sorry.
most notoriously violent players in the NHL was Dustin Byfuglien, who used to play for a Canadian team. I don't think he himself was Canadian, but my mom used to compare me to him because when I was younger, I've been the same height for the last like 8 years. So I was a giant at one point, and it was very easy for me to just bowl through people unintentionally.
The image in my head is incredibly humorous of just this really big little girl just bowling through a bunch of other little girls.
Like full shoulder first, got
Okay,
the
so
whole like
I
video
have the
game
page
sparkles
open.
around them.
I have the page open about fighting. I'm gonna actually read you the specifications.
Let's go.
about
Hockey
fighting.
fights.
So
Hockey
this
fights.
is very specifically USA hockey rules.
The best part of hockey. The best part of hockey is the fights.
So this is USA hockey rules. NHL rules are a little more lenient because let's be honest, NHL hockey is about entertainment.
Okay.
As
As
it
long
should
as it's
be.
just a little scrum, no one's really gonna get in that much trouble. Speaking of that, there's something I wanted to mention. Etiquette. If you've ever watched an NHL hockey fight, or just a high level NHL hockey fight, or a high level hockey fight, you see them drop the gloves. So, dropping the gloves doesn't actually give much advantage. In general, it is seen as a sign of respect. You do not fight someone who doesn't drop the gloves.
Okay.
If you drop the gloves at someone, they don't drop it, you don't fight them. That is a great way to actually get in severe trouble. But if it's a mutual fight, go at it.
Wait, Victoria, I have a question. Have you played goalie?
Huh?
Have you played goalie?
One time when I was really little, and
Did you get hit with the puck?
No, I couldn't stand in the gear.
Okay, because my dad says that the goalie getting hit with the puck does not hurt.
It doesn't. There's so much equipment on them.
Okay.
Like, quite literally, the leg pads are about that thick.
For those who can't see, because this is an audio show, that's like 1.5 inches.
No,
that's
like
a
3 inches.
That is not 3
Honey,
inches.
do you know how big an inch is?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Okay,
I
so
can't. I don't know how big an inch is.
I'm
Hang on, hold up your hand
Visualize
again. Alright, so it's like the height of, you know those, like, cheap plastic salt shakers? It's like that.
yeah.
We're Americans. We don't use measuring units. We use hamburgers and washing machines.
It's about 3 football fields away.
Yeah, it's about 3 football fields.
Okay, so I'm gonna read through
I'm
the
not kidding.
specifications
I
for
was
fighting.
I was in architecture and we were measuring the site plan that we were using, and for a second I'm like, 90 feet, huh? That's like 30 yards. That's like almost a third of a football field. And I realized what I was saying. I'm like, oh no.
America.
Okay, so first section. Okay, so the very first thing in the section about fighting, it says, note, a punch or an attempted punch thrown by any player in the direction of opponent, regardless as to whether contact is made, is considered fighting. That is a lie. You're just going to get called for roughing if you throw a single punch. I got called for roughing so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fighter.
As you should. Fighting is the best part of hockey.
There's a video of me skating up behind someone and whacking them on the top of the head because I was pissed.
just straight up like Three Stooges. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so first section. A major plus a game misconduct penalty shall be assessed to any player who engages in fighting. An additional minor penalty shall be assessed to any player who starts or instigates fighting. Again, untrue. We do not. No one calls it that harshly unless it's like full fist fight.
Unless someone loses a tooth.
Literally, unless someone's injured, it's unless someone gets injured, or unless it's like actually like full like beating each other up. It's just gonna be maybe a roughing penalty.
Also, for those who don't know, like, hockey has a lot of rules about fighting, and the way we talk about it, you think there's a lot of fights. You think, like, football has a lot of fights. I've watched football. I've seen a single fight in football, and it was, like, a very quick, like, a guy got thrown to the ground, and then there was a dog pile, and the bench is cleared. I've seen a single fight in football. Hockey fights are a regularity.
Yeah. Great ways to start a fight. Mess with the goalie.
Mess
in
with-
any way.
Do it.
I will say, though, admittedly, there's one thing that I really hate, which is when people will push you into the goalie just to start a fight.
They should.
That is not fair.
Yes, it is.
That's not fair.
That is not fair.
Yes, it is. Give us more hockey fights. Hockey should just become boxing. Boxing, but they're on ice skates.
Okay, so
Hockey,
next
but it's
section.
all fighting is how professional wrestling was invented.
Next section.
No, they're not on ice skates.
A minor penalty shall be assessed to any player who drops their stick and or removes their gloves during an altercation and is not a participant in the original altercation. A game misconduct penalty shall be added if, in the judgment of the referee, such player is deemed to be the instigator of a subsequent altercation. So basically, if you start another fight, you're getting kicked out.
Why?
Because this is youth. This is the rules for the
Come
youth
on,
leagues.
give us more fights. Just make it so everyone is fighting, even the goalies. It's just 1v1. Each person is with their opposite person on the other team.
Phoenix, you know that, like, MMA is a sport. You don't need to,
We
But
don't-
the fact they're on ice skates makes it a lot funnier.
It's a lot more... okay.
Next section. A minor, double minor. Double minor is basically just you're serving 2 minutes and then another 2 minutes.
Also, Jordan, I know it's a sport. I've watched chess boxing. Chess boxing is very cool, by the way. You should watch it.
I know you've watched
Or
chess boxing.
major plus game misconduct penalty at the discretion of the referee. There's a lot of discretion, which makes things a little weird, and is the most common reason for us to get yelled at is the penalties that are at our discretion. Shall be assessed to any player who, having been struck, continues the altercation by retaliation. You will not get a penalty if someone hits you and you do not retaliate.
Did you ever not retaliate?
No. I always retaliate.
As you should.
You need to retaliate. It's part of the...
It's part of the culture.
It's part of growing up.
A game misconduct penalty shall be assessed to any player or goalkeeper who is the first to intervene in an altercation then in progress. No. I intervened in a lot.
You saw your chance and you went for it.
Yeah. A minor penalty shall be assessed to any player who fails to move immediately and directly to their player's bench or goal crease for the goalkeeper. The crease is just that blue area in front of the net when instructed to do so by the referee during an altercation. If you get 2 major penalties within the same season for fighting specifically, you'll get a suspension. Trying to find some interesting penalties to talk about. Apparently spearing and butt ending are different. Tripping is literally just taking the legs out from under them. It can be slew foot, it can be stick, it can be clipping. There's something called unnecessary roughness. That's a roughing penalty. So basically anything that's unnecessarily aggressive that doesn't really fall under any of the other categories.
Yeah, like
a punch to the shoulder.
punch to the shoulder. Football, you like take him to the ground and you roll him a little bit.
You roll him a little.
Yeah, you make him roll.
Kneeing is a big one. My dad just said spearing is with the blade. That's why they're different. So kneeing is a big penalty because you would think that kneeing is just hitting with the knee. It's not. It's knee-to-knee contact. And
What?
it's important because that's a great way to tear someone's ACL.
Wait,
Really?
I have...
Yeah.
One time I was, like, running at someone. We were gonna do, like, the joking, like, throwing ourselves into each other's arms thing, because it was, like, it's been a while since we saw each other. But we were running at the same step at the same time, so we rammed our knees into each other.
Okay, let me rephrase my statement. Kneeing can be literally kneeing, but that's going to be a minor. Knee to knee is always major.
And I can understand why.
Because, again, that is a great way to...
Yeah, getting hit in the knee is like the worst.
I actually had to give somebody a major penalty for kneeing one time because the kid who he hit had to get, like, carried off the ice. This was a house league, I think.
Oh my god.
That's like teenagers.
There's also a penalty for headbutting,
that's
which
fun.
is only major plus game misconduct or match penalty.
But they're in helmets.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but it's still head-to-head contact.
But it's helmets. They're padded.
They're padded, doesn't affect the actual, like I said, I got hit with a puck in the head and I got concussion.
It is worth
That's
noting.
a puck.
Yeah, and I would imagine, and it wasn't even a shot. It ramped off my stick and hit me in the face.
It is worth noting that you've got 10 minutes left.
I know.
Do you want to just keep talking about penalties until the time runs out?
I mean, you want to know anything else?
What's your favorite penalty?
My personal favorite penalty is roughing.
But fights are so much more fun.
Speaking of fights, there is actually something that I found interesting. There's actually 2 different books that I was given when I became a ref. I got the rule book, and then I got a handbook. And the handbook was basically, how do you run the game? What are you supposed to do as a ref? And at the back, there was a section about how do you deal with fights. And what they said to do was, if there is a fight that is any more than just a scrum, you let them fight.
Yeah.
Until someone has a distinct advantage, which basically means until someone falls over, let them fight. Because otherwise you're gonna get hit. And you guys don't know this if you're just listening and you don't know me, but I am 5'2".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just me working with 12-year-old boys, I am one of the shortest people on the ice.
Victoria's head is at a very good punching level.
Yeah. So I really follow that. I
That's
have to let
such
them.
a thing to tell someone. Wow, your head's at a really good punchable
So is
level.
yours.
Yeah, you're the same height. Joyce.
Yeah, I have a punchable face.
I'm 5'11". They're getting my stomach or my chest.
You have an uppercuttable face.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's worse. That's worse than getting just like a right hook.
Oh yeah, something I completely forgot overlooked. Penalty shots. So, very similar to soccer penalty shots. But what it is, if someone's on a breakaway, so if they are on their way to the net, there's no one between them and the goalie. If they get, tripped, hooked, checked, anything that would call as a penalty that prevents them from taking a shot, they will then be given a penalty shot, which is just them against the goalie. I have not given many. I have not witnessed many. There was one game I played where I witnessed 2 in the same game, which is not very common. There was also the time that I was playing in the finals of our league, and the other team's goalie took the puck out of the net after it went in and threw it out, and the ref didn't actually see if it went in yet. So they gave us a penalty shot, and that was one of the reasons we lost the game, because I think we lost by 1 point. There was that one.
Oh my god.
There was that one, and then there was the goal that they called off because they said that one of our players took a slap shot. Fun fact, ages 10U and below are not allowed to take slap shots because they're so dangerous.
Jeez.
Ever seen Happy Gilmore?
I've seen Happy Gilmore.
Have you
love
ever
that
seen
movie.
Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, that's a pretty good description of how a slap shot goes. Of you hit a golf ball into a man's window and then knock his wife out the window.
Okay. Equipment. You can actually get in trouble for something called illegal equipment. So some of the more obvious ones is using obviously broken equipment that endangers other people.
Turn the non-blade end of your stick into a spear. Make it a shank.
So basically,
That would hurt everyone involved.
one of the big ones is you're not allowed to play with a cracked stick.
Why not?
Because if it does break, it could. So hockey sticks nowadays are more or less made of carbon fiber,
Oh.
and when they break, they have a tendency to splinter.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
gave many of my teammates splinters by asking them to help me take my stick. Because my blade was chipped up because I used the same stick for about 5-6 years.
Wow.
Which is a long time for a youth hockey player, much less. Because I didn't outgrow any of my sticks.
Because you didn't get any
I
taller.
didn't get any taller.
Wait, in fighting, are you allowed to use the sticks?
No, that is a great way to get a suspension.
What if you just what if they both agree to have a sword fight with the sticks?
That's a great way to get a suspension.
But it'd be so cool to watch.
Again, sword fighting is its own sport you can go watch. You
I
don't.
know, but it's not on ice. The
There's
fact
actually
they're balancing on ice skates
there's
is a
a
lot more fun to
maximum
watch.
length for a hockey stick. There's a maximum allowed length.
So there's a maximum height for hockey players.
Yeah, and my dad is on the very edge of that. He has to buy extenders because they don't make sticks long enough.
Oh!
Because my dad is 6 feet tall, but on skates he's about 6'3", 6'4",
Oh,
and 6'3".
my dad can't play hockey.
He could. I use a stick that's a little too short for me.
No, my dad is 6'3".
Oh God, a lot of people do use a stick that's a little too short for them just because of how they play. Like when I was learning how to play, my coach insisted that I use a shorter stick.
But you're already so short. She gave me a look.
So basically, stick is not allowed to exceed 65 inches.
Okay.
There's such thing as an illegal curve. So the blade of a hockey stick is not flat; it curves. If the curve is too deep, it's just so insanely hard to do anything against someone with a curve like that. Like, it is impossible to do anything with that, or do anything against that. So, it's illegal. Skates, just generally, don't have a skate that's about to fall to pieces. I kind of maybe violated that a lot of times.
But, like, that could be fun, though.
It's not. I was wondering why I had zero balance.
No, imagine the blade coming off of your skates, so it just falls off, and you just start skidding on your feet.
No, there are videos of people's blades falling out of their skates during games, and they have to shuffle over because they can't push.
No, I'm just imagining them just like the blades fall off, and just Looney Tunes, they keep sliding on flat feet.
There's some specifications about the pucks you can use. Above 8U, you have to use a black puck. The puck has to be black. There's allowed to be designs on it, but the puck has to be black.
Why?
Contrast.
White ice, black puck. Easy peasy.
That's so not fun, though.
Has a specified weight, has to be between 5.5 and 6 ounces. 3 inches in diameter, 1 inch thick. The youth, or the really, really young age groups, there is a lightweight puck that is colored blue. There are also heavier pucks that are orange that are usually used for practice, because if you're good with an orange puck, your shots with a black puck are going to be a rocket. You're not allowed to have electronic devices other than GoPros, and even then, like, league games, usually you're not allowed to use those. So, the way that they actually do illegal equipment stuff is the referees can't actually initiate it. I know. Referees can't initiate it. The other team has to initiate it. They have to ask the ref to take a measurement. And if the measurement shows that the equipment is actually legal, the team that called for a measurement will get a penalty instead.
Oh, that's funny.
Let's see. Anything you guys want me to talk about before?
No, but one thing that was said in the Discord server for the radio club, someone's opinion on hockey overtime is they should remove a player every overtime period until it's just the goalies.
Oh, no. The way they do it in a lot of youth leagues is they actually add people every overtime.
No, but just one-on-ones is so much more funny.
I do have a question, actually.
Oh.
What?
Before we close everything out, a personal little you question. What is it that you love about the sport, or is it just you've been doing it long enough that you just...
I've been doing it long enough.
That you have
also
to.
like the aggression, don't you?
I also like the aggression.
There it is. See, that's the real answer.
There was something... Oh, yeah. Goalie substitution... Not goalie substitution. Pulling the goalie. I need to talk about this first. Have you ever seen the goalie get pulled?
No.
They take
no.
the goalie off the ice and they put another player out. Overtimes, the way NHL points work, a win in an overtime is 2 points instead of 1, and a loss in an overtime is 1 point instead of 0. Unless you pull your goalie, if they score while your goalie's pulled, then you get 0 points.
Okay.
So, it's basically forfeiting your extra point. So, anything else you want me to talk about in the next 2 minutes?
I think we don't have enough time to talk about anything else because you just raced through that.
I don't know if we sure went through a lot of penalties.
A lot of penalties, because that's the fun part of hockey.
And a lot of fun tangents.
A lot of fun tangents about you keep saying that you want it to be more fun with the fighting.
Because it would be. Because the funny part is you have to use your weight to throw a punch, but you're on ice skates still.
Oh yeah. Also, if you hit a goalie, that's also a great way to get a penalty because that's goalie interference.
Yeah, don't mess
Especially if they're within this trapezoid from their net behind.
Also, don't mess with the goalie. Your punch isn't going to do anything. They have more padding than professional football players.
All hockey players do.
Okay, they have more padding than any other sport player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we are at almost 5.
Who wants to hit the outro?
Oh boy, I've learned something about hockey that I'm going to very
learned-
quickly forget.
Of course, that's how we always do it. Think I remember anything we've talked about on this show? Maybe.
I come in here and I black out and I leave and I just lose an hour of my life. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. If you're curious as to where to find us, we live on campus. It's not like you're going to have to travel far afield. I'm the short one with the purple hair.
I'm the tall one with the purple hair. And you'll hear Victoria.
You will hear me.
You'll hear her
And-
before you see
and
her.
Jordyn is always in architecture studio.
Yeah, if you want to find me, 5th floor, architecture studio, gym loft. I'm probably in there, like, punching my computer.
Possibly crying a little bit.
I don't know where
Yeah.
you're going to find me, actually. Where am I most of the time?
I don't know, but it's been delightful being here. Do you
It's
want to do
been-
professional wrestling next week?
Professional wrestling or conspiracy theories?
We'll decide on the way.
We'll decide. Thank you for listening. This has been Hyperfixation of the Week. I have been Phoenix.
I've been Jordyn,
And I'm Victoria.
and I'm sick.
Woo! See you later, everyone.